The Silent Revolution, the untold story of the box that built the modern world. Imagine a world where moving goods across vast distances was a chaotic, often ruinous gamble. Then, seemingly overnight, a single brilliant idea emerged that streamlined global commerce, saving fortunes and sparking unprecedented international growth. This isn't a historical drama. It's the true story of how one invention reshaped our economic reality forever. You won't believe how simple yet profound its impact was. In every corner of your home, in every item you own, in every store you've ever walked through, there is a secret. Not a conspiracy. Not a scandal. But a hidden miracle of engineering so ordinary, so overlooked, so painfully simple, that the world barely noticed it. And yet, without it, your life would be completely unrecognizable. Your phone would cost 10 times more. Your clothes couldn't exist. Your food would be seasonal. Your city might not exist at all. Entire nations would be poor. Entire superpowers would never have risen. Entire industries would never have been born. Because globalization, the single most transformative force of the modern age, did not begin with the internet, or jet engines, or world trade agreements. It began with a box. A rectangular steel box. A box so plain that you've seen it 1,000 times and never once wondered where it came from. A box so simple that its true power wasn't technology. It was standardization. But before this invention, the world of trade wasn't just inefficient. It was chaos. To understand this revolution, we must first travel back to the world before the container, when global shipping was a mess of rope, wooden crates, sacks, barrels, sweating laborers, endless delays, rampant theft, and unimaginable inefficiency. Back to a world where every product you owned would have taken 10 times longer, and cost 5 times more, to reach you. This is the story of the silent revolution that built the modern world. The invention so invisible, you never knew it changed everything. The world before the box, a nightmare called breakbulk. Global trade didn't begin with containers. For centuries, it limped along through a brutally inefficient system called breakbulk shipping. Breakbulk meant exactly what it sounds like. Cargo was broken into thousands of individual pieces, and each piece had to be moved separately. Imagine unloading an entire warehouse, one box at a time, onto a ship, then off a ship, then onto a truck, then into another warehouse. This was the reality of global logistics. A single ship could carry hundreds of thousands of separate items, and every one of them had to be manually handled by dock workers known as longshoremen. A typical day on a pre-container dock looked like this. Men carrying sacks on their backs. Crates being rolled across shaky planks. Barrels hoisted by ropes. Boxes scattered everywhere. Forklifts weaving dangerously between piles. Goods rotting in the sun. Cargo going missing. Fights between labor unions, ship owners, police, and gangs. Cargo handling was so slow that a ship could spend more time in port than at sea. Let that sink in. A vessel might travel across the entire Atlantic Ocean faster than it could unload its cargo once it arrived. Costs were astronomical. Delays were constant. Theft, called the daily pinch, was an expected part of the process. Insurance companies factored in disappearance as a normal fee. And the result was devastating. Shipping anything internationally was so expensive that the world economy remained small, local, and painfully fragmented. The average consumer couldn't afford imported goods. Most factories served only nearby cities. Global supply chains barely existed. Developing nations struggled to export anything. Before the container, globalization was not just weak. It was impossible. Yet despite the obvious inefficiency, no one had figured out a better way. Not until one man asked a simple question that no one else had dared to ask. The genius of simplicity, Malcolm McLean and the aha moment. Malcolm McLean was not a naval architect. He wasn't a shipping magnate. He wasn't a government diplomat or engineer. He was a trucker. A simple trucker from North Carolina, born into a working-class family, running a small trucking business. But he had one thing no one else had. He saw inefficiency every single day. In the 1930s, he would drive his truck to a port, wait hours, or days, for dock workers to unload it and watch money evaporate. One day, while waiting on a New Jersey dock, he had a realization. Why do we unload the truck? Why not lift the entire truck body onto the ship? It was an idea so simple it seemed obvious. And yet, no one had implemented it. The brilliance wasn't in the idea itself. People had experimented with small containers before. The brilliance was in creating a container system. Standardized sizes. Reinforced corners for stacking. Interchangeability between ships, trucks, and trains. Specialized cranes. Dock infrastructure. Fully redesigned ships. McLean understood something profound. A container wasn't cargo. It was a tool for moving cargo. This single insight transformed logistics from brute force labor into a precise, predictable, standardized industrial process. In 1956, McLean launched the first container ship. The Ideal X, a converted oil tanker carrying 58 steel boxes. At first, people laughed. Dockworkers mocked it. Shipping companies ignored it. Railroads didn't trust it. Ports refused it. A box? On a ship? Who cared? But then the numbers started coming in. Loading costs dropped by 97%. What once cost $5.86 per ton to load, now cost 16 cents. Shipping had always been expensive. Now it was almost free. McLean had triggered a revolution. What simple design can do: standardization, modularity, interchangeability. Containers didn't succeed because they were strong or beautiful or technologically advanced. They succeeded because they were standardized. Every container, no matter where it came from, had the same width, the same height, the same locking corners, the exact same metal fittings. A crane in Singapore could lift a container that started in Los Angeles without any modification. A truck built in Turkey could haul a container loaded in Brazil. A container designed in Germany would fit perfectly into a ship designed in South Korea. This interoperability unleashed a level of efficiency the world had never seen. Factories could pack goods directly into containers. Containers could be sealed at the factory and remain untouched until reaching the customer. Suddenly, theft plummeted. Insurance costs collapsed. Handling times evaporated. Damage to goods disappeared. Ships became larger. Ports became automated. Supply chains became predictable. This is the power of simplicity. A tiny design choice, 4 corner castings, became one of the most important engineering standards in human history. The ripple effect, how the box rewired global industry. When the container arrived, industries far beyond shipping transformed overnight. 1. Factory geography changed forever. For the first time, companies could place factories wherever labor was cheap, or wherever land was plentiful, or wherever regulations were lenient. Distance no longer mattered. Shipping was so cheap that geography became almost irrelevant. This is how Japan became an electronics giant. China became the world's factory. South Korea began exporting to the world. Vietnam, Malaysia, and Thailand industrialized. Mexico became a manufacturing hub. Factories no longer needed to be near consumers. They could be anywhere on Earth. 2. Just-in-time inventory was born. Toyota pioneered a method where parts arrive exactly when needed, not stored in huge warehouses. This system relies 100% on containers. No containers equals no predictable shipping. No predictable shipping equals no just-in-time manufacturing. No JIT equals no modern car industry, no fast fashion, no low-cost electronics. 3. Consumer goods became affordable. Without containers, the average smartphone would cost $10,000. A pair of sneakers might cost $500. A television might cost $8,000. Imported food would be a luxury. Containers democratized consumption. The modern mall is a product of containerization. So is Amazon. So is Walmart. So is the global clothing industry. Even your kitchen, filled with goods from dozens of countries, exists because of standardized shipping. 4. Port cities transformed. Old ports like New York, Liverpool, and London declined because they weren't designed for containers. New ports exploded. Singapore, Rotterdam, Shanghai, Dubai, Busan, Shenzhen. Containerization created new global cities. Some countries became wealthy purely by becoming logistics hubs. Geopolitical transformations. How a box changed world power. Moving goods became so cheap and fast that it reshaped global politics. Here's how. 1. The rise of China. China's economic miracle is often attributed to cheap labor. But cheap labor is useless without cheap shipping. Containers allowed Chinese factories to send products worldwide. Global companies to outsource production. China to become the world's manufacturing center. Without containers, China could never have become an economic superpower. 2. New trade routes emerged. Ports that invested early in container terminals became global arteries. Shipping lanes evolved based on container volumes. The Suez and Panama Canals grew in importance. Choke points like the Strait of Malacca became strategic flashpoints. 3. Global interdependence. Containers tied countries together economically. The U.S. relies on Asian factories. Asia relies on Western consumers. Africa relies on imported goods. Europe relies on global supply chains. This interconnection reduces the chance of war between major powers, because they need each other economically. The world became a web and the container was the thread. 4. Militaries modernized. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. discovered that troop deployments could be made dramatically cheaper and faster with containers. Today, militaries around the world use them for equipment, food, ammunition, housing, mobile command posts. The container is even used to store nuclear submarine parts. The modern legacy. How the container rules today's economy. More than 25 million containers circulate globally. Over 90% of world trade moves in them. They sit on giant ships carrying 20,000 containers each, 200,000 tons of cargo, hundreds of billions in goods per voyage. These ships are so large they can barely fit through major canals. Ports spend billions on cranes that move containers with near robotic precision. And everything you buy, from furniture to smartphones to frozen shrimp, has touched a container. We live in a containerized civilization. Yet we rarely think about it. The greatest infrastructural transformation in history is almost invisible. Future threats and new horizons. The container is dominant, but not invincible. 1. Supply chain fragility. Recent global shocks revealed a weakness. When containers get stuck, everything gets stuck. Pandemics, wars, port closures, and canal blockages can freeze global trade. 2. Automation and the end of dockwork. Ports are becoming fully automated. AI cranes, autonomous trucks, digital customs. This will reshape labor and spark political battles. 3. Environmental pressure. Megaships burn enormous amounts of fuel. Global regulations may force new designs or new fuels. 4. Nearshoring and microfactories. Companies are exploring local production, on-demand manufacturing, robotic factories. This could reduce container usage, though unlikely to replace it soon. 5. Smart containers. The next evolution may include temperature sensors, tamper detection, real-time GPS, AI-optimized loading. The box may remain, but its brain will grow. The miracle of the ordinary. The shipping container is a masterpiece of human ingenuity, precisely because it looks like nothing. No screens. No algorithms. No futuristic design. Just a steel rectangle. And yet, it reshaped the global economy, lifted billions out of poverty, gave birth to new empires, reorganized the world map, and built the era we live in today. A simple idea. A simple box. A simple standard. Sometimes the inventions that change the world aren't flashy. They aren't glamorous. They don't get headlines. Sometimes the inventions that change everything are the ones no one notices. The shipping container didn't just carry cargo. It carried humanity into the global age. If you want to uncover more hidden forces shaping our world, more invisible inventions quietly controlling global power, and more financial mysteries changing your life without you realizing it, then you're in the right place. Subscribe to World Financial Mysteries, because the world is full of secrets hiding in plain sight, and we're just getting started. Until next time, keep questioning what you think you know.